Okay, the blue line is where the pyramid, the masonry layers were laid out to begin. However, where it says 36238.14, you can see the thickness of the blue line is how much the base was reduced by and where the masonry layers actually do begin. The difference there is 286.1 pyramid inches. Now, many of you are already familiar with that number, but for those of you who are not, that comes up in the next slide, doesn't it? Or do I tell them now? Just see what's behind it.
Well, I go into January 25th, which is the most important eclipse that's ever occurred.
Yes.
The 286.1 in Hebrew is espousal male, and that is 1, the father, and 286 is lamb. So you join the two together, you get espousal male, who's going to marry the female, which is 36524.24, reducing by 286.1 because it's been rejected up until this point by all the churches. And they are also, that word is also espousal. So if we go back to it, we see that the number there is 3623. That is espousal female that's going to marry the displaced factor, which is 286.1, espousal Hebrew male. So here's a male marrying a female. But this one here is 14 days after I was born, and it's quite phenomenal because it crossed the 25-degree north latitude, which is all solar eclipses are measured along. When it crosses that line, the distance to where I was born at Rothschild Avenue, 105 Rothschild Avenue, 105 means eagle, is 8888.8 miles. So there's the Jesus number, 888. Rothschild Avenue. What's Rothschild? That's Lucifer in the flesh. That's the man right there. Now, the last solar eclipse is 942 miles from that location. That's the 11/14/2012, November the 14th. This is where I live at the bottom left. That's the Nell Street address. To the right is the Rothschild Avenue where I was born, and in the centre is where Eileen Joyce Rosewarne, the woman I married, where she was born and grew up. The distance between the two down to Nell Street is 777.7 kilometres.
And 777 is?
If you take that as being days, it's 2127, 2.127 years, which is Zia, which is in 1 Chronicles 5:13. But you can see the new leg there where it says 1189, that is Psalms 1189. Look it up.
Now, moving right along back to the planets, Pluto was recently removed from the list of 9 planets. Now, their BS reason was it's too small to
Too
count.
small to be a planet anymore.
Yeah.
Somehow it shrunk. It does orbit the Earth and the Sun, therefore it is a planet.
A planet. You can't
Sorry,
do away with
astronomers.
it.
Sorry, Satan.
Yes. Now, moving forward in time to Brian's birth date, January 11th, 2013, which will be his 69th birth date. It is the 1114th lunation. The distance from the Earth to Pluto will be 33.33 astronomical units. A round trip will be 66.66 astronomical units.
And that is why they removed it.
The Julian day for that date is 2456303.09817. The again reiterating, the location of the pyramid is slightly below the 30-degree latitude by 2,127 metres. That number again. The reason is dual. The age difference between Rhiannon, she is Michelle's youngest, and with Brian's youngest daughter Nicole is 2.127 years, or that number that we happened upon 2 slides ago, 777.7 days. Now, the location on the surface of the earth tilts the descending passage. Now, we're talking about the descending passage in the Great Pyramid to a point along the earth's axis, 51,511.43 miles, or 13 times the earth radii. The pi angle is 51 degrees, 51 minutes, 14.3 seconds, and that's the angle of the pyramid face. Now, I really hope that you're all beginning to get a real sense of just how incredible this is and how it is absolutely impossible and improbable other than the perfectly divine mind of God causing the entire synchronicity in all of its movement of our solar system for these things to be so. And here it is here. We've got the line on the right, so the line from the center, which is Alpha Polaris. This is this date on June 26th, coming up just a few days away from now, down to the descending passage of the pyramid. That's what it looks like. And we were talking about my eyes are towards God.
In the old times, they used to say, my eyes towards God are my eyes. In other words, they knew that the descending passage pointed towards the centre of virtually the Milky Way, because this is where Alpha Polaris is.
Yes.
The precession of the equinox means that the wobble of the Earth would point the descending passage eventually, and the axis of the Earth, towards that point in time. Go back 13,000 years is way off that,
Yes.
because it's a wobble.
So far away, yeah. So is that, as we get closer to the thickness of the magnetic north, which is the galaxy, holds everything in position in the galaxy, that wobble is pretty well
It's finished.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's just up from that point instead of up.
That's right.
Yeah. Amazing. Beautiful. You see the cross formation there of the 5 planets in the cross? Okay, so again reiterating the importance of this number, 2127 meters to the 30-degree latitude equals 2127 years, which equals 777.7 days. 7, of course, being the number of completion and perfection.
It's also the Holy City is the last city out of 777 times the word city is mentioned in it.
In the Bible, yes. Now, this is a diagram of the antechamber, which is really important as keys, providing keys to the House of David. You see that it's 116.26 pyramid inches wide. A lot of you are familiar with that number already.
If you multiply that number by pi, it's 36524.24, which is the solar year.
Solar year. There's that number up there at the top there. Okay.
It also gives you the number 25 and 5 in raw cubits.
Right. Next slide. So again, 11626. Brian was 1162.6 weeks old